What's that called?
Monorail!
Well, here we are, back in the White Mountains.
I'm getting myself situated.
That's right, Rob. You take your time. We're not waiting or anything.
Yes.
Just left Lincoln Woods, heading up over the Bonds, Bondcliff, Mount Bond, and West Bond, and we'll be camping at the Guyot Campsite tonight. Got Pete here.
Back in action.
And Robert.
Hello.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful out. Spikes are working great. Great conditions today. And then at some point, either later this afternoon or this evening, a winter storm is going to roll through and it's going to dump a lot of snow up here. So that'll make tomorrow an interesting day as we continue over the Twins on our way out. About 7 miles in, 1,500 feet of gain. So very different from that last hike Pete and I did. This one features about 5 miles of fairly flat walking before the climbing starts. Now we're climbing up Bondcliff. Another couple miles before we reach the summit, which features some of the best views in the White Mountains.
Bear rock. Like super bear.
Take the spikes off, I guess.
I'm gonna bother.
Taking them off?
Take it off for you?
I might. I don't want to just wear them down. Now, what the audience doesn't know is that Rob is going to propose to Seth. And that this is a match made in heaven. Here he goes.
Mom out.
Hold on. Whew. I don't like standing out there, but what a view. Unbelievable. Bondcliff checked off. On to Mount Bond.
Oh man, Bond.
Eric, finishing his winter 48.
Yes, sir. Right over there.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Good to meet you guys.
Enjoy your hike today. Have fun tonight.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Well deserved. Anytime you can bag them all, feel good about it.
That's right. Mount Bond. It's a tough climb. Good job, Pete. What happens when you step off the trail here? Go down to my hip. Good Lord. So, this is deep snow here. Wow. Some work. Woo! Nice job. Thank you.
All good, everybody's tired.
I'm staying on it. I'm good. Maybe underneath it, Seth?
I don't know. Well, I made it to Guyot shelter. Only problem is that there are not a lot of great places to hang. It's a very steep slope. All the tent platforms have a lot of snow on them, more than I counted on. A lot of the trees are old, broken, brittle. I think I found a couple that'll work. I have to deal with the slope, but I think it should work. And this looks like it'll work. Tight quarters. This side's a little exposed. I might try to lower that. But the wind should be coming from this way, so there's not much clearance there, and I can actually pile up some more snow on the outside. Now we wait about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, let that set, and then we'll be able to hook up the door here. Find a spot? Oh yeah.
Give me a bit, but
You got it. So as usual, I got my 0 degree underquilt from Hammock Gear, the incubator, and then I have a Hammock Gear Burrow 20 degree top quilt. Forecast is to get down to about maybe mid-20s tonight, so should do me well. I feel like I've done a pretty good job of batting down the hatches. This side is not super tight, but I did the best I could, and it'll get tighter with the door on it. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this setup. I think it'll work well. Little carabiner lets me keep the door open. And yes, I do love these snaps. They work great. Here's Rob's setup in here. Need some insulation. Not a bad view from the shelter.
Waiting for hot chocolate, baby.
yeah, and then
The only danger is like sinking too deep in the snow.
I know.
It's pretty deep. Without my snowshoes, I made some big holes.
I'll have to do a little more area maintenance when I get back.
All right, camp's all set up. We're heading back out. Short hike over to West Bond. We skipped past it on the way here. Set up camp. Now we're gonna go back out and do the short hike unencumbered.
Best spot. Oh yeah, we're back at it. Oh man, right to the sun. So we came all the way. All the way. Down into the coal over there.
We're back as darkness falls. Good work, everyone.
I'm as tired as I've ever been.
Behold my grody feet. Let us warm them up. Now a warm sock. Lovely. Now my down booty. Now to complete. Ready to go. Good night, Seth. Good night, Rob.
Good night.
Sleep well.
I'm in the hammock. I got all my clothes and all my hot water bottles somewhere and some candy, and I'm ensconced in multiple layers of down, and it was a nice long day and I'm exhausted. In the morning, if I remember, I'll try and take you through the hammock setup. But basically, I didn't use my tie outs, my side pull outs. I just don't care that much if the tarp blows on me a little bit. If it's real bad, I could get up and mess with it in the morning, but I'm just gonna hunker down and let the wind do its thing. Good night. Good morning from the hammock. Like 6:15. I slept pretty well. I ended up getting up to pee like 5 times, so that's great. And I had some issues with the underquilt, but overall I was pretty snug and I slept pretty well. Well as could be expected.
Gloomy indeed. Well, it's the morning. Made it through the night. No snow yet. Just fog. Another nice benefit of staying in an actual campsite. An actual privy. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, I'm back from Target.
How'd you sleep?
Alright, I got up to pee like 10 times, but that's an exaggeration.
No, twice for me.
It's like at least 5.
Yeah.
Like every 2 hours, basically. But then, I mean, I slept good. Oh, and I broke the carabiner on my underquilt.
Uh-oh.
So
Oh no.
I had to make some
Did
nighttime adjustments.
Jimmy something up?
Yeah, it was good. I was able to do it pretty quickly.
Nice.
But I woke up shivering at one point, and I didn't understand why. And I went back to bed that way, and I woke up again, and I was still cold. I was all confused. And I finally was like, oh, that's the fucking carabiner broke. That's right. I fixed that, so. Yeah. It's always nice. But then that's like, after I need to fill this bottle, and I'd like to fill this up and this up with clean boiled water before we leave.
We need a lot of water.
This one, you should go through that thing and pay our town.
No, like, look, this is...
Enjoy my oatmeal as Rob goes and gets more water.
This is the water filling station. You put it under this little mossy hole, and then you bring it back and you boil it up. In the summer, there's like a pipe that comes out of here, or maybe the pipe is here right now and it's just covered in snow. I can't tell. Come on, water, boil. Oh, it's so much longer. Nothing. You're all packed up. I'm proud of you. Don't forget your spikes over there.
Yeah, I got all the outdoor walking shit. My boots aren't done up.
Seth isn't super condensed. Super wet out right now. All right, so here's the hammock setup. I got it on these two trees. And I got it all staked out. I'm gonna kind of take this down in reverse. Everything is very wet, as you can see. I should have probably tied it out. I was very comfortable in there last night, even with it kind of leaning against me. But it would have been probably better to like guy it out to this tree over here or whatever.
Ugh. Well, frankly, I would have rather had the 6 inches of snow this morning already. 7:30, it's time to pack up and get out of here. Thankfully, I can pack up my insulation in my hammock under this tarp, and then just gotta wrap the tarp up, and I can put it all away in the comfort of the shelter.
A lot of moisture. Got all my stakes out. Look at all that moisture. My hands are getting wet putting this thing away, which is not great, but we'll make do. It'll dry out inside the glove, I think. You can get a good feel for how it's raining right now. Look at all the moisture on top of my quilts. Seth just admonished me for doing my tarp last, or not doing it last, but we're just getting out of here, so I'm not super worried about it. If I was doing a second night somewhere, I would definitely do the tarp last, especially in these conditions. So I'll show you. See, there's this carabiner here, right there. Can you see that? So there's supposed to be one on this end, but it broke last night. So I used this little cordage to hold it up. But that came loose at one point again, and it made me cold. I broke it because I had it too tight, but tight equals warm. So you just gotta find the happy medium, I guess, which I didn't.
Another thing to think about after a winter trip is once I get home, I have to unpack everything and basically lay it out to dry to make sure we get all the moisture out of all these quilts. Get the tarp dry so everything gets strung up in the basement.
All right, last, here's the setup. I got these buckles. That's my ridge line. I was a little low to the snow last night, like practically hanging in it, but just enough up. So I'm just gonna unhook it and then stuff it in that black bag and then pack up. We'll be on the road.
So we got about 10 miles of hiking ahead of us today. Less elevation, but some interesting sections. Almost right away, we're gonna climb the slope of Guyot, which is just an open, bouldery area. It's really cool, I love it there. And then we're gonna head to the Twin Way, which is part of the AT. Heard the ground is pretty choppy there, so that could be rough. Then we climb the final ascent of the day to South Twin. From there, it's another mile or so of, it shouldn't be too difficult, to North Twin and then down to the car. Now that down to the car is a stretch in and of itself. It's something like 5 to 6 miles probably. There's several miles of road walk involved, so it'll be a slog at that point. I'm sure we will be bushed. All right. Ferry all this back to the shelter, and then I will come back for the tarp itself.
All right, and that's the pile of gear. How you doing?
Ready to go in this sloppy mess.
My little thin gloves got drenched, Seth.
Yeah, I bet. I had my waterproof mittens on and then just took them off, but I had fleece gloves underneath.
It would have been better to go barehanded and just freeze out, but it is what it is. You make your decisions, you live with the consequences. This I'm gonna want later, possibly. We'll see.
Something's dry.
So I have in my truck, I have like an ammo puff.
That's a long ways away.
It's a long ways away.
You're gonna be cold until there.
I don't think I'll be cold. I think we're gonna be working hard today.
Last thing before we go, I'm putting on rain pants. It's turning to snow, which is great, but it's a wet snow. And while I'm worried about overheating in these rain pants with my regular pants underneath them, I'd rather have the protection. I'll be right back. Lost a snowshoe. Jesus Christ, I left it all the way down here. Check your snowshoes, kids. Pete making the decision to ditch the rain pants since it's not raining anymore. I'm sort of committed to mine because mine aren't as nice and don't zip all the way like that. Those are sharp. I'm gonna have to pick me up a pair. Who makes those, Pete?
These are Marmot.
Marmot.
They are excessively expensive. Don't buy them. Buy the REI version of full zip pants, or any version of full zip.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
I'm all the way up here, but they're getting their gears adjusted. It's an important part of the process. Me, I feel pretty dialed in, but also exhausted, but also great, but also terrible, but also amazing. Existence is pain. Baby, I'm existing. Now we're out in it. Totally different character than yesterday.
I'm doing some impromptu spike repairs.
Yeah, so this part came loose right here. I was able to jam it on and just pinch it down. And then this one was all tangled, but so.
Yeah, I think that was what the phase was like. Well, we can hit mountains, but like, who knows what we're going to get over that. We're the AT. A couple miles on the AT, and then we're going to peel off towards North Twin. Falling up on the spikes. Yeah. Steep climb up South Twin. Almost there. It's snowing now.
Yeah, Seth?
Good job, brother.
All right, up ahead is North Twin, the last climb of the day. Off in the snow. All right.
Outlook, summit.
Summit?
I don't think we need the outlook.
Nah, I don't think there's much at the outlook.
Good.
All right, here we go. Downward. Oh, near the end of the trail. Then we got a couple miles of road walking ahead of us. It is snowing.
Thank you, man.
24 miles of hiking, 6,600 feet of gain, 2 good friends, another difficult but satisfying backpacking trip. Thanks a lot for watching, really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.
Let's do some choring.
Well done. We did it. Look at this guy. Great to work.
Congratulations. Success. Got to clean off the roof because that little girl died. Everyone feels bad about it.
Jesus.
Not funny, Seth.
I know it's not funny, but you make me laugh, Rob.